RTX 4060 Ti, 8GB or 16GB? Which one should you buy? Let's find out. As we all know, Nvidia launched the RTX 4060 Ti 8GB at $399 MSRP. But after that, it launched the RTX 4060 Ti 16GB at $500 MSRP, $100 more. So should you buy the RTX 4060 Ti 16GB for $500? I will answer this. So guys, if you just want to play some games like Fortnite, Valorant, Counter-Strike 2, or Call of Duty Warzone and PUBG and stuff like this in 1080p, 8GB is completely enough for you. You do not need more than 8GB of VRAM. So just go with the RTX 4060 Ti 8GB. But if you want to play some games like Cyberpunk 2077 or Forza Horizon 5 or maybe like Red Dead Redemption in 1080p ultra setting with ray tracing enabled and some DLSS or even 1440p, 8GB is not enough. Even some games like Cyberpunk 2077 and Forza Horizon 5, it uses more than 8GB of VRAM. For example, in Forza Horizon 5 in 1080p, it sometimes use 8500 megabytes, which is more than 8GB. So if you want to play some story mode games with high textures and with ray tracing and DLSS enabled, you should just go with the 16GB version. But if you do not want to pay $100 more, you can play some games in ultra settings but without ray tracing and DLSS, because DLSS and ray tracing just use an incredible amount of VRAM, and if it sometimes runs out of VRAM, it can use the RAM of your PC as the VRAM. So you wouldn't have a lot of problems, maybe some stutters here and there, but it's not just a thing to mention. So I would say that the 16GB version of the RTX 4060 Ti is a better choice. But if you just want to pay like $400 on a GPU, yeah, you can go with the RTX 4060 Ti 8GB. But there are some better choices in AMD like the RX 7600 XT, or maybe you can buy the RX 6800 XT used, or maybe you can find the RTX 3080 in the used market for like $400. And so in my opinion, there are much better choices. But if you just want to buy all new parts, so the RTX 4060 Ti 8GB is just a good choice. It isn't like that bad that people say, but it's not the best choice. If you're a content creator, 8GB might be enough for you. But if you're doing some 3D stuff and like doing some Adobe After Effects, just go with 16GB. Don't ask why, just go for it. And as you can see, I have the RTX 4060 Ti 16GB version here. And in Cyberpunk 2077 in 1440p with ray tracing and path tracing enabled with the DLSS frame generation and DLSS balance turned on, it uses like 10GB of VRAM. So if you just want to play like this, make sure you go for the RTX 4060 Ti 16GB. Or you can just pay more to buy the RTX 4070 or the 4070 Super, not the Ryzen 4070 of course. And it has the 12GB of VRAM, so it will be completely enough for 1440p, and it also gives you better performance. In my opinion, 16GB of VRAM for the RTX 4060 Ti is just like too much. If it had like the 8GB version and the 12GB version for $400 and $450 MSRP, it would be just a great choice. But unfortunately, we do not have that. So the only choice is the RTX 4060 Ti 8GB or the 16GB version. And as I said, 8GB might be enough for the next 2 years or so for 1080p gaming. But for like 1440p, it's not enough. And if you just want to play the games for like 4 or 5 years or so, you have to go with the RTX 4060 Ti 16GB. So you would be sure that you won't run out of VRAM in the next few years. Before I continue this video, make sure you like the video and subscribe to my channel, and also share the video with your friends. Thanks. And now you might wonder, what CPU should you pair with the RTX 4060 Ti? I think the Ryzen 5 5600X is a great combination with the RTX 4060 Ti, but as it's an AM4 socket and it's a dead socket, so I think the Ryzen 5 5500F is the better choice right now. And if you want to go with Intel, I think the 12400F is good, but the 13400F or 13400 non-F if you want to go with Intel. But it's on LGA 1700, which is a dead socket, so I do not recommend the 13400F at all. But I have the 13400F in this PC. It's definitely a good CPU. It isn't bad, but it's just on a dead socket. So if you want Intel, you can go with the 13400F, but if you do not want Intel, just go with the AMD Ryzen 5 7500. You might say that, okay, I want the RTX 4060 Ti 16GB, but I do not just have $100 more. So now I want to tell you how to just save up that $100 to buy the RTX 4060 Ti 16GB or maybe the RTX 4070. You can use gamsgo. You must say, what's gamsgo? It's a website that you can buy almost any services available on the internet, like the Netflix, YouTube Premium, or Spotify for a really low price, and you can just save up more money for the RTX 4060 Ti 16GB. The link is in the description. Make sure to check them out, and don't forget to use my promo code as well. Thank you guys for watching this video. See you next week.